Alright, I got my PVS-14 set up, set on that oak tree, which is about 100 yards downrange. And if I pan to the left, that tree line right in the center there is a little over 200 yards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the difference between the civilian legal DBAL-I2 low and high powered modes, which I believe is 0.2 milliwatt on low and 0.7 milliwatt on high, against my full powered PEQ-15. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the DBAL-I2 on the low setting. And as you can see, it does fairly well. It does show up at the tree, 100 yards, no problem. Easily seen. Tonight is not a full moon, but close. And it is fairly bright out due to the fact that we've got buildings with all kinds of lighting, as you can see to my right. So this is again, the low setting. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to the high, which is the 0.7 milliwatt. And it is noticeably brighter, slightly. Again, see if I can hold it down and switch between the two. We got, alright, we got 0.2, 0.3 I believe, and 0.7. And as you can see, it does brighten up quite a bit. Let's go ahead and pan on over down to the 200 yard mark, a little over 200 yard mark, and we're going to start with the low powered IR laser and see if we can get it to show up. And starting from the grass and moving our way, and it does show up fairly well. Let's go ahead and switch it to the high setting and compare. Oh yeah, much better. So a class 1 civilian legal, I guess non-restricted unit seems to work fine out to 200 yards or further, and that is actually a pretty good ways, I guess, to shoot at night. So how does this compare against a full powered PEQ-15? Well, let's go ahead and find out. PEQ-15 does have an illuminator on it as well, and I'm going to go ahead and show you some of that. But I'm going to start out on the low setting for the IR laser. And this is 0.6 milliwatt, which is technically a little bit less powerful than the DBAL-I2. And again, we're going to start out on the oak tree. So this is the 0.6 milliwatt. And actually, let me go ahead and compare this with the 0.7 milliwatt of the DBAL. So we've got the DBAL on the left, which is that one, and now we've got the PEQ, if I can line it up, on the right. And the DBAL does appear slightly brighter. Kind of hard to tell. I guess they are about the same. So back to the PEQ-15. That was the infrared laser on the low setting. Now let's go ahead and do the, I guess we'll go ahead and switch to the dual infrared laser and illuminator on low. Now again, we're still at about 100 yards, so this is with the illuminator widened as much as it can go. And you can focus it, double tap, turn it on. You can focus this right on down if you want to. But a little bit of pain. You could technically focus it down to a laser dot, but it does illuminate when focused right. 100 yards, no problem. Let's go ahead and move down to the give me just a second. Okay. Now we're gonna open the illuminator wide as it can go, which is right there. We're on the low setting, and it just barely reaches out there. Gonna have to focus it down quite a bit, see if it'll reach, and just barely. So that is the low, both the dual setting, the low illuminator and infrared laser. Now we've got the IR laser on high, which is the next setting. This is a little bit more impressive, and I'll start out at the 200-yard mark just so you can see. That is easily 200 and probably 220 yards, I believe. I Google Maps'd it, and it's the best I could come up with. So that's a little over 200 yards. Let's go back to the 100-yard mark. And I have a feeling this may be a little bit too bright. Oh yeah, excessive blooming. But can clearly see. So this is next setting is going to be the IR illuminator high. Now again, it's opened up as far as it can go right now, and we're going to go ahead and shoot for the 200 mark. Much brighter, and again, focusable, obviously, to reach out there distance wise and get a more precise little spotlight going. No problem. And finally, before I move on to the dual high for the infrared illuminator and laser, I'm going to go ahead and show the tree with the illuminator on the high setting. Let me open it all the way up. Shut it off for a second, open it up, and I have a feeling that tree is going to be lit up like broad daylight for the most part. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go to the dual both high IR illuminator and laser, 100 yards. No problem. 200. Again, no problem. Let's compare the high laser to the DBAL-I's high setting, which is 0.7 milliwatt. Let's see what we got. Alright. 200 yards, DBAL, 200 yards, PEQ-15. Get set. Alright, let's see. We got here it is right here. Alright, so we got the illuminator. And I can't see right now, so it's making this a little bit more difficult. There we go. DBAL on the right, PEQ-15.